morning, everybody. Dr. Gabriele Jasper here, MD, anesthesiologist, and interventional pain with Jeremy.
Yeah, that's right. How
Hey.
is everybody today? It's a beautiful day out, right, Doc?
Oh, yeah, nice and crisp.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Full day.
Fall day.
Leaves going to start to change. Well, here I am again on our podcast,
That's right.
which would be hopefully transmitted also on the radio.
Yeah, tomorrow morning it'll be on the radio. So that what we're recording right now will be on the radio tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Good. All right, interventional pain. That's what I do. I like to give myself I like to give an introduction to everybody. Hopefully, there's new people listening, and I can tell you what we do here in an interventional pain specialty. Well, what I do is unique. That we try to find the actual pain generator. And once we find the pain generator, we do some type of procedure to get rid of that pain generator.
Yeah.
We don't mask it. We don't make believe. We don't give any kind of narcotics to cover it. We had a patient yesterday who consistently asking for narcotics, came from North Jersey, had a doctor that gave him narcotics, but he doesn't want to do it anymore because they did a blood test on him, and the guy came out positive that he drank alcohol, and so he cut him off.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, today it's very difficult to prescribe pain medication because of the fact that the government cracks down on a lot of doctors.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be dot your I's, cross your T's type thing. But at the Jasper Spine Institute, we don't do narcotics. We don't prescribe narcotics because we try to get rid of the pain without narcotics.
Yeah.
And we will help you get off of the narcotics with the getting rid of the pain at the same time.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. Changed my whole life. And they were throwing pills at me before I came to Dr. Jasper. Everywhere else, they told me, "Nah, there's something we can do, but we got some pain pills for you." And unfortunately, you're just gonna have to deal with the discomfort and the pain for the rest of your life. And I was like, that's a heavy load to drop on somebody's lap, right?
Yeah, I had explained to this guy that yesterday I saw 50 patients.
Right.
You see 50 patients, and while I'm concentrating on getting rid of the pain generator, I go over the MRIs and by doing certain types of injections, diagnostic injections that sometimes become therapeutic, which means it helps them.
Yeah.
Decreasing the inflammation of the nerves or arthritis and stuff like that. But I mean, we're full. People wait sometimes an hour and a half, 2 hours just to see me.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I was treating patients just with pain medication? I'd have to get another 2,000 square foot space
just to get the crowds in.
And I'm just talking waiting room.
Right.
And I'd have to hire, extenders, other doctors to do all of that stuff. So it wouldn't be me actually treating them.
Right.
Because I have no time to do that. I'm completely occupied with doing what I do, to get rid of pain without narcotics. So leave that to the guys that don't know how to do what I do, or the women that I don't know how to that doesn't know what to do.
But I will say, when I was
doesn't know what to do, that they don't do what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was a patient of those other doctors, though, all I was hoping for was somebody to tell me what you just said. That I get rid of your pain and that you don't need the pain pills, because they wear out fast, especially if you're suffering and you need some relief, and you start taking those pills and you take a little bit more. It blocks it a little bit, but then very quickly you get used to those pain pills and the pain just doesn't recede anymore. And now you're looking for somebody like an angel to help you, to help change this nightmare of your life. And thank God for guys like you, Doc. I mean, like you're a pioneer in what you've done. The lives you've changed since you put up your shingle, it's amazing. And I'm one of those lives. Thank God, I'm one of those lives.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
Yeah.
I enjoy what I do, and you know what? I'm 26 years I've been doing it, and guess what? I'm still practicing medicine,
right?
as they say, but I'm getting better and better. It's easier. And I've come to, I want to talk about a topic today that I've come to the conclusion. My son is texting me.
Turns 25 today. Happy birthday, Phil.
Happy birthday, Philip. Ashley's just taking him to pick up the truck. Okay. All right. So I don't have to do it. But I came to a sudden revelation. And I'm sure other pain doctors and orthopedic spine surgeons, neuro spine surgeons came to this, but I've been talking a lot about it to my patients. And the topic is, when you have a bad back, especially genetically inherited bad back,
right?
There is no miracle. You're going to have a bad back, causing all the consequences of bad backs.
Yeah.
Sciatica pain, weakness, spinal stenosis, foraminal stenosis, all these different things that you get with a bad back happens, and it will continue to happen.
Yeah.
And no matter what you do to try to fix it, and even if you do fix it, I say I can fix that.
Yeah.
I could fix that, but maybe it's not going to last.
No, but you told me when you did fix me. Okay, you said you have the degenerative disc disease. That's not going to stop. You have a bad back, and you can hurt it again. So I mean, that was after that saving grace that you gave me, let me walk again, and let me live a day without pain. And then I had to realize what predicament I was in now. Thank God it was such a better one. But now, you have to relearn how to do things. You relearn how to sit down. I used to throw myself down in chairs and launch myself.
Can I finish my concept before I forget?
I'm sorry, Doc. It was a part of your concept, though.
You know what? There was a good point that you brought up. Degenerative disc disease.
Yeah.
Degenerative disc disease. And you know what? Luckily you brought that up, and I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Because that's the root of all evil. That is why you will continue, and everybody that has a bad back will continue to have problems throughout their life.
Yeah.
And a guy like me is the kind of guy that will help you go through your life in a relatively comfortable manner without too much pain. Intermittently, you're going to have it. You come back and we take care of it. And that's why pain doctors are out here, or interventional pain docs are here, and orthopedic and neurospine surgeons. That's why we're here, to help these patients. Now, what I was getting back to is that you have to have realistic goals, right? You have to understand that there's nothing, and I've talked about this before, there's nothing out there that you're going to fix once and for all.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of this. I want to go to a doctor. Doc, can you fix this once for all? Can you fix me? Or is this going to be a Band-Aid, or is it going to be a cover? No, nothing's going to ever fix you 100%.
Right.
Even if you go out and get big, major spine surgery like fusion, right? If you do get big fusion because you really need it, it helped you at that time, and that's good. But in the future, things are going to happen.
Right.
And you might get as bad, maybe worse than you were before. The same with interventional pain. For example, we have these new procedures that come out, and some procedures, minimally invasive spine procedures that have come out years ago, that the beauty of these procedures, especially if it's indicated, I like to tell you about these procedures are indicated a lot more today, where big spine surgeries are not anymore.
Right.
Please don't get me wrong. If any neuro orthopedic spine surgeons are out there, I'm not trying to say anything bad about them, but there are surgeries that are unnecessary that are being done. And there are procedures that I think all of them should learn how to do. Every spine surgeon, minimally invasive spine surgeon, big traditional spine surgeon should all learn these new things, because it's like any other field in medicine. The evolution, the genesis of making people feel better with less. Because when you do less, and this, I didn't even get to the point of this conversation. When you do less, it leaves the opportunity to do something later.
Yeah.
For example, I get patients every day that come in. I had big spine surgery 2 years ago. Well, did it help you? No, it made me worse. Or I had big spine surgery done 5 years ago. Well, how did it make you feel good? Yeah, it made me feel great.
Right.
For 3 years. And then all of it came back again, whether it's a little bit different or the same, it came back. It's going to come back.
Yeah.
It's going to very rarely, unless somebody has like a sudden injury with one little herniated disc, and you go in there and you take care of it, get rid of it, chances are it's not going to come back. However, it will, depends how old you are. You know, if you have a herniated disc, you've just injured that nerve. I mean, that disc.
Yeah.
And what happens after that? It's progressive degenerative disc disease, and you will have problems. Hopefully you die of a ripe old age before that one gives you a problem.
Right.
But it will give you a problem.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm leading up to, if you get minimally invasive spine procedure, there's less scar tissue or no scar tissue. There's no rods, there's no screws. There's nothing in the way to hinder you for a follow-up visit when it comes back, and maybe a follow-up interventional procedure, minimally invasive interventional procedure that can make you go maybe another 6 months, a year, 5 years, or 10 years. And this is the point I'm trying to bring out with these patients that say, you know, doc, I'm scheduled to get major spine surgery, and I think that they don't need it. And I tell them that you can get major spine surgery. But what happens is the majority of the time, if something happens in the future, everybody washes their hands of the patient, because there's really not much you can do when you have somebody who has multi-level fusions, and they just don't want to do anything after that. And they come to me and say, the doctor I went to said they can't help me, to go to a pain doctor. And it's hard for me to help them.
Right.
Unless they have what they call adjacent disc disease, and they fuse the level above. Then what happens? That level above that goes. You know, that's inevitable. You know, and if anybody's out there getting fusion, you ask the doctor, what's going to happen to the disc above the level that you fuse? And he'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
If he hasn't already. But the point here is, and I'll say it again in probably one sentence, you're always going to have a problem. The least you do to get rid of all the pain at that moment, the easier it is to take care of later on when it comes back again.
Yeah.
And it might not even come back in the same area. It could come back in a different area. And sometimes when you have big fusions, you still can't even get that other area.
Right.
You know, because then it becomes hard to diagnose. Not to mention that, you know, no matter what you do, sometimes you just can't get rid of the pain once they have that. Because you can get pain from just the fusion in itself. And then we talk about spinal cord stimulators and stuff like that.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, so that's a good topic that I've been trying to talk to patients about, and it makes sense. And you talk to any, you know, and I'm sure most doctors realize that.
Yeah.
And I realized it years ago, but now I'm starting to talk more about it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get cured with a bad back. It's like your knee. You know, you get a bad knee, you hurt your knee, and then for the rest of your life, you got a bad knee until one day you got to replace it.
Right.
You know, that's how things are. You know, we break down. You know, it's hard to be perfect where you don't do anything.
Yeah.
And nothing ever breaks down. Of course, like I said, it's genetic.
Yeah.
It's genetic. Well, so going back to the things that I do, we do these simple epidural injections, which work. You know, do they work forever? Well, like I said, nothing's going to work forever.
Yeah. Some people, they work a good long time, though.
I know you can have, sometimes you can have an epidural. Now, I'm not saying, you know, somebody has an epidural, somebody has sciatica pain because they fell and it tripped, and they might not have damaged their back at all.
Right.
But what they did was they fell in a position where the nerve coming out of the spine got whacked, right? It hit it.
Yeah.
Now it becomes inflamed. And becoming inflamed, inflammation is swelling and pain. It gets kinked in that tunnel where it's coming out. And it becomes a vicious cycle. It gets kinked, it becomes more swollen, more painful. And unless you get in a position that it doesn't hurt, and sometimes you can't even find that position. But the way to treat that on your own is get in a position that doesn't hurt. But you can't do that for like 3 days in a row. You got to get up and go to the bathroom. You got to eat. You got to do this. You got to work. So it just doesn't go away. And that's where transfemoral epidural, some kind of epidural works. It'll decrease the inflammation, shrink the nerve down so that the nerve can now live in there the way it used to. It might have adequate space like a normal person. That will never come back. But if you got a herniated disc that's large enough to when you do an epidural, it'll come back, the pain, because there's just not enough room in there. So what's the next step? You got to take that herniation out. And we can do that with 4 millimeter incisions. 20 minutes, an hour, maybe, Band-Aid, you go right home.
Right.
I had a patient that came in yesterday that I did it. I actually, no, it wasn't a patient. It was the patient's husband that came in and said that I did an endoscopic discectomy, as they call it, which is basically, we don't take the disc out, but it's a decompression of the nerve from a herniation in 2011. And she came back for the follow-up, 100% pain-free. And he's starting to have some problems and said that she said, you better go see Dr. Jasper. Got rid of my pain 2011 and never had it again.
Huh.
So, I mean, that's a classical case of, well, actually, it's not classical. It's sometimes rare that you get somebody that you do a little invasive, minimally invasive procedure or a major procedure, and they don't come back anymore because they're good. But, I hate to say it, they're probably going to be back somewhere along the line if they have degenerative disc disease.
They might need a tune-up or something like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the what do you call it? We all get, after 50 years old, we get arthritis.
I was just thinking that too.
You have it.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
We treat you periodically with that.
Yeah. I got to tell you though, the last time, I mean, this is the longest it's ever lasted.
How long has it been, you think?
Oh, it's like 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
The average person lasts about a year after doing radio frequency, ablation, burning of the nerves, and different ways you can call it.
Yeah.
Whoever had it done.
I've been doing more exercises though. I've been going for walks and stuff, and taking the dogs out and taking them for walks. So maybe I'm just limbered up, and the arthritis isn't really affecting me as much as it was.
Well, the best thing for arthritis is move.
Yeah. Yeah.
As soon as you stop moving, your arthritis gets worse.
Yeah.
But moving a lot when you're younger causes arthritis.
Yeah.
But that's a very good procedure for the low back pain caused by arthritis.
Oh, it's magic. It's like a magic procedure for a patient who's like really suffering. If you're rolling out of your bed and you're grunting in pain and you're wincing, you might just have arthritis in your spine, and a radio frequency ablation is a relatively quick fix for something like that.
And it's not something that you do right off the bat. That's usually, as they say, when you paint a fence,
right?
That's usually the second coat.
Gotcha.
To fill in all the spots that aren't completely painted.
Yeah,
and that helps a lot.
That was a good analogy.
Yeah. The second coat on the picket fence, because you get rid of the sciatica kind of pain. If you don't get rid of the sciatica pain, people don't care about the arthritis pain.
Yeah, they might not even differentiate between the two. It might feel just like one pain, and that's what it does a lot. You get rid of a pain generator, and then all of a sudden they come back. I don't know, doc. I don't think it worked because I'm still feeling pain back there. But no, it's a different generator. Yeah.
Well, then the topic comes up. You just brought the topic of pain generators, that you can have 5 different pain. I had a patient 5 different pain generators.
Wow.
Causing the same pain. And on the MRI, they had 5 objective looking pain generators that can cause the same pain. Now you try to explain that to the patient. Well, what do you want to do, doc? You want to do the epidural? You want to do the arthritis? You want to do the spinal stenosis? You want to do the compression fracture? You want to, there's so many different things that give the same kind of pain.
Yeah.
Some things are very, very distinct as far as the type of pain that they get. For example, a pinched nerve coming out of the spine will give you what they call sciatica pain. Arthritic pain is not going to do that. It could give you pain in the low back and into the buttocks, but so could spinal stenosis give you low back pain into the buttocks.
Yeah.
And so could spinal stenosis give you pain shooting down the leg, like a pinched nerve with sciatica, because a lot of times it is a pinched nerve. You have the combination. I mean, I can go on and on with this.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a ramble now, but anybody out there that understands a little bit about it, and hopefully the ones that are listening that don't will start to understand after listening to this show.
Yeah.
When you got the pain, we'll take care of it.
Yeah. The people who have it are recognizing it. I know, they're listening right now. And like, hey, he's talking about me. That's how it was for me when I first met you. Like you're talking about, I'm like, you're really talking about me now. And that is something for a lot of people who are suffering pain and they're living with people who just don't have a frame of reference for it. They've never been hurt in their lives and they don't understand what you're going through. Hearing somebody like you, like, talk to them, like, you're speaking the thoughts in their mind and all their feelings about the pain they're suffering. Yeah, that's like the clouds parting and a beam of light shining down for some people. It was for me. It was for me, man. Yeah.
We should have some other guests in here that
Yeah, we got to get
remember
that
we
out.
had some guests that actually had different. We should have maybe some guests that had specific type pains.
Yeah.
And how we got rid of them.
That'd be great.
I mean, we had quite a few patients yesterday that were so happy. They gave a nice review about their experience.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
And one guy that came back for something else I did. I said, have you given a review? He says, yeah, I gave the review last time I was here. But I mean, they're just they're just overwhelmed and so happy that they have no pain. They don't believe it half the time.
Yeah.
But that's what we do. That's what we do.
Well, you can call us today if you have a question for Dr. Jasper. It's 732-237-4949. That's 732-237-4949. And you can talk to the master of pain himself, Dr. Gabriele Jasper. So you do some bigger procedure. Well, I mean, they're all minimally invasive from your point of view and ours. But I mean, you do some like really powerful procedures that can really change your life. So, like, especially for now, for people suffering from spinal stenosis, which is a terrible affliction. Every time you're walking, you can feel the pain just building and building until it's unbearable, and you're looking for the next chair, or you're pulling yourself up by the banister of your stairs, or you got to lean over.
Lean on a shopping cart.
Yeah.
The shopping cart syndrome.
Shopping cart syndrome. And
shopping cart sign.
Yeah, but you got a really brilliant solution for this.
Well, they have these. Of course, the original solution was a laminectomy.
Yeah.
And then they started doing laminectomies and infusions at the same time, which now this is my opinion. You go to a spine surgeon, they give you their opinions, and they're spine surgeons. But this is my opinion, and I'm very, very conservative when it comes to open surgeries. But as soon as they started to evolve into hemilaminectomies to laminectomies to spine surgery for spinal stenosis, is when I started looking for other alternatives for this. And like I talked about a lot yesterday, is that the industry. What is the industry? The people who sell these devices, these new devices that come out.
Right.
And who do they come to? They seem to always gravitate to my office. They call up, they want to bring lunch, and they want to show me the new device. And I am all for that.
Yeah.
Why? Because probably, half of them that come, it's a really good new device. It's a really good theory on how it works. And of course, anytime they bring it, it's been tried and true and FDA approved.
Right.
But some of them come into my office and I say, listen, that's not going to work. At least it's not going to work here. It just doesn't make sense to me. And, you can always find a study that shows that it works, but, it's another story. But when they come in and they show me something, like, for example, these intraspinous spacers that open up this central canal, they've been around for a long time, but they have different companies that come out with different ways of putting it in.
Yeah. And new innovations, right?
Yeah, new innovations and less invasive, right? And some of them might be a little bit, well, I'm not going to say more invasive, but some of them are less invasive than others. But sometimes you have to sacrifice efficiency for maybe being a little bit more invasive to get more efficient. And when I talk about a little more invasive, it's still very little. It's still minimally invasive. Very small incisions. And we have companies that I use to put these spacers in. And there are also, I'm not going to name any companies here.
Yeah, no, we don't need that.
But they're out there, and they also have recently an old technique that we used to do years ago, which I never really liked because I was doing endoscopic surgery, and that's the best of all. but the problem with endoscopic surgery, insurance companies don't pay enough. So patients got to pay some out of pocket. So there are some other procedures that are as good, and I use that. Insurance companies have paid it, but not all the time they're as good. But certain patients, certain patients, selective patients, you pick, and it works, and you just go in percutaneously under indirect visualization. Endoscopic and open spine surgery is all direct. You're looking right at it. These are indirect using the X-ray machines, and they've designed these instruments and the technique to be extremely safe. Yeah. And you take out that ligament that is pinching on all the nerves in the center of the canal. It makes you have to sit down all the time, and you decompress it. And it works. It works in a very high percentage of patients. And then, so that's become a algorithm where I do that if the patient doesn't have severe pain down the legs. And then if that doesn't work, I go into the spacers. And sometimes I'll take out, knowing that I might have to put the spacer in. But they're all limited. It's not a cure all the time. Majority of the time it is, the game changers, but I'll take one, and I'll do the percutaneous to take that out, the ligament, take some of it out, and then back it up with the spacer, which are all 5-10 minute procedures.
Yeah.
So you come back another day and do it. So you go by steps, and very rarely you need to get major spine surgery.
Yeah.
So that's those are the new procedures that are coming out. And there's other ones out there for people who have pain in the disc. We go in there and we do stuff with that, but it seems like the insurance companies don't pay for that kind of stuff.
Right.
We got sacroiliac joints. We're going to start to do some sacroiliac joint fusions, which are not like the fusions that we understand.
Yeah.
It's like maybe a screw that drills in and keeps it fixed so it doesn't move.
Right.
It's another 10-minute procedure, 20-minute procedure. But that's the future, and that's today.
And that would be removable, though, that screw. Right?
Well, you don't have to remove it. See,
well, I think like, because most fusions are permanent, right? I mean, you can't unfuse a fusion.
Well, it depends. Like the intraspinous spacers.
Right.
If somebody injures themselves or for some reason needs surgery in the spine that really needs it,
right,
you take it right out.
Okay.
That's no big deal. As far as sacroiliac joint fusion, what's good about sacroiliac joint fusion, sacroiliac, we talked about it with
Dr. Radcliffe.
Dr. Radcliffe.
Yeah.
One thing good about it is that if you do it and it doesn't make them better, it doesn't make them worse.
Yeah.
That's knock on wood.
Yeah.
Providing there's no complications. But the bad thing, and I talked about it with Dr. Radcliffe, is the fact that it's a very hard pathology to diagnose, because when you have bad SI joints, you usually have a bad everything.
Right.
I had a patient yesterday that I gave her a SI joint injection 3 weeks ago. She was good for a week. And then by the time she came back 3 weeks later, she was back to the same. So a component of her pain is coming from the SI joint. But then I'm looking at her MRI, and what's the protocol? You block it again, you inject it again, and if it gets rid of it again, then you do the fusion. But I get to that point where I never get to that point, because I looked at her MRI, and her MRI, she's got scoliosis, she's got bad arthritis of the spine, she's got pinched nerves in her spine that can cause sciatica, mimic sciatica, not sciatica, can mimic SI joint, sacroiliac joint pain.
Yeah.
Right. So I said, before I decide to do a fusion, and this is how I think, this is how medicine is. Before you do a fusion on the sacroiliac joint, you're going to give an injection around the nerve that may cause the same type of pain. And if that works, then it either works, it stays for a long time, or you're really confused.
Right.
And you don't know which one to do.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game. You got to figure these things out, and you don't want to do anything unnecessary.
Right. Yeah.
That's
it's this detective stuff that I love to hear about, like because sometimes you're in there and you're a straight up detective trying to figure out where the pain generator is, or especially with failed back surgery. That stuff, when I started realizing what you had to do, sometimes you have to go in there and just investigatively to look, because the biology has changed because of the failed back. So they might have put stuff in there like rods, bars, and whatever. Screws, yeah. So you've got a
bone graft.
So you got to, so a lot of the X-rays and stuff, they can't see through all that stuff. So you've got to go in and see what's behind it, see what's up in it.
I mean, I don't do much of that lately, but I used to do a lot of what I call exploratory, where you do CAT scans, you do MRIs, X-rays. And you really can't figure out what's causing the pain, but the pain is there. Most people put spinal cord stimulators in, and that's a good choice.
Yeah.
But what if that doesn't work? We talked about this on the air. I go in there and see what's actually pinching that nerve, and I've seen screws go right through, not the center of a nerve, but the edge of a nerve, and irritating the nerve every day. If it goes through the center of a nerve, that nerve becomes paralyzed wherever it goes. It becomes paralyzed.
Right.
And then it's easy to diagnose. But, and I've seen, and I have to go in there and actually file with special instruments the screw off of the nerve.
Right.
Right. And I've seen where they put this bone graft. It's like toothpaste. They put it all in the gutter of these spinal canal, not canal, but spinal column. And that's supposed to increase the chances of fusion, and sometimes it spills up over the nerve and surrounds the nerve and starts to squeeze the nerve.
Right.
And that pain will never go away. Right. And then I've gone in there with the endoscope looking at a high definition monitor with fiber optic scopes and cameras, where I see that this is crushing the nerve. But thank God that fusion stuff is not like real hard, like bone or like real cement or glue.
Right.
You're able to chisel it off of the nerve. I mean, who does that? Nobody does that.
Right.
I don't even want to do it anymore because of the way the society is today. Everybody wants to sue you left and right. So you seem to get to a point in your life where you don't want to do it, but I still, if it has to be done, I do it.
Yeah.
But not too many people do it. I had a couple of people within the last month that we talked about it. And sometimes the new procedures work better. In fact, this endoscopic procedure, which I've taught people all over the world, and I've learned from people all over the world, that I don't do that much anymore. I keep telling you that. I mean, I used to do 150, 200 a year, which is a lot, right? Yeah. And now if I do 50, that's a lot because of all this new stuff. And that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's never going to go away.
Yeah.
But it makes treating patients easier when easier methods to get rid of big pain goes away.
Right. Right.
Or comes along and you can use it, But what else is new? In the practice, we got Dr. Skoblar. He's doing great. He's getting very busy. He had more new patients than I did last month.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
He's a go-getter. He's going out there.
In fact,
a very good doctor.
You're going to see a lot of them on this show too. We're going to be supplementing. You go and you do your hobbies and your racing sometime. And we don't have a show. So Dr. Skoblar is going to be coming in midweek around, and he and I will be doing Painless featuring Dr. Matthew Skoblar, and we're hoping that people get more of a taste of Painless that way. They're going to see and hear all the cool things that are coming from both sides of our doctors at Jasper Spine Institute. So that's very exciting. That's very exciting.
He does a lot of stuff that I do. He's learning how to do a lot of stuff that I do. He does different things than I do. And he's a different person. So it's good that we have two people there now that we can talk, have like intraoperative consultations or just sometimes we're seeing patients at the same time. We throw our ideas around. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So the practice is getting better and better.
Oh, he's passionate. He's got he brings he does bring that level of excitement and passion to the place as well. his patients love him. If you've been with Dr. Skoblar, you know he's just this great guy, and he's just eager to get your pain gone. And you know, hey, how many times have we been to a doctor where they've done nothing but give you pills, like we were talking about earlier? Now you got two doctors you can see at Jasper Spine Institute: the amazing Dr. Gabriele Jasper and Dr. Matthew Skoblar. Our what do you call it? Prodigy? Is that sounds pretty good.
I don't know how to spell that word.
So yeah, so all right, so we've talked about a lot of things that you do. A lot of senior citizens listen to us every weekend and on the radio as well. And I know a lot of them are suffering from their joints. You know, they have like aches and pains that, you know, with summertime, I guess it helped them out because the pool was open at their villages and such, so they can go and soak and sit in the nice warm water. But now that winter's coming, their joints are going to start stiffening up and all of that. What can you do to help them? Just trying to give you a new topic here.
Well, they got to come in. I got to do a complete history physical examination.
Okay.
Find out what the cause is and help them.
Yeah.
But you did make me remember something.
Oh, good.
That this is the time of the year. I mean, yesterday I must have had 10 patients that are, Doc, you think you could take care of me before I go to Florida?
The snowbirds. Yeah.
And we try to squeeze them in, and we will squeeze them in. But, you know, for example, somebody has arthritis. That's let me see, 2, 4. That's do it today, then 2 weeks. That's a good 4-week process. And
Yeah.
they're like, I'm leaving next Wednesday. Well, guess what?
Oh, that's a good point.
But if they do need one procedure, we'll slip them in on a Tuesday if they're leaving on a Wednesday.
Right.
If they're leaving 3 weeks from now, we could do something and check them out just before they leave, see if they need anything else.
Yeah.
So this topic here is, if anybody's listening or has a family member that's going down to Florida and they're in pain, come and see me before they leave.
Plan ahead.
Yeah, I mean, one person needs a procedure and they're on medication that you can't do the procedure because they have to come off it before the procedure. Right. And they need to do PATs, chest x-ray, a blood test, and an EKG. And they were going down to Florida next week. And the wife is like, well, guess what? We're not going down to Florida next week. Yeah. And you need to spend some time to take care of your body. And there was one that's leaving Sunday.
Really?
We have a plan, and they're gonna come back in about 2 or 3 weeks just to do the procedure. So there's nothing wrong with jumping on an airplane, coming back and taking care of it. Come and see your family that you haven't seen in who knows how much time, and then going back. They're not that expensive, and it's not that far. And I had a person that drove down from Hunterdon County, which was, I guess, way up North Jersey, and it's a 2-hour ride. So it's not that much further flying an airplane from Florida. You know? Yeah. So you can do that. You know, I got a lot of people coming from all over the place.
And they're taking care of stuff down there after Hurricane Ian anyway. So that might, if you're putting off your vacation down there, snowbirds, a week or two, maybe fill that time up with getting your pain under control. And give us a call at Jasper Spine Institute, 732-262-0700.
You know, and they asked me if I know any pain docs down here. I really don't.
No. But you know an amazing endocrinologist down there.
Oh yeah, Josephine Jasper in Marco Island.
That's right.
And Naples. And she says that there's really not too many great doctors down there that does pain. Well, great. They are who they are. But she's always comparing them to me. There's nobody down here like you. So she actually sends patients from Florida up here to see me.
Yeah, we got Kat here. She says, I keep trying to send people up from Florida to you. I try to talk people out of major spine surgery before they talk to you.
Just come in. I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Come in for a consultation. It's not going to hurt you.
Right.
And once you become my patient, and she's right, once you become my patient, even if I don't do anything for you, and you have another doctor, maybe because I don't accept your insurance, I'll see you and I'll keep you in the right direction. And if you decide, even if you don't have the insurance, that we work with you as far as we're not gonna make you mortgage your house.
No,
you got to
no.
live. Some of these people can't work, so
Yeah.
we take care of them and they go back to work. And
Eh.
we could work with you as far as the bill goes. I mean, hey, listen, it can't be for nothing because it costs me money to do these procedures.
Right.
So
All the instruments cost something. You got tons of overhead. You gotta, I mean, it'd be great to be able to hand out free, a pain-free life free to everybody, but that's just not how it works in the world, unfortunately. We got Felix who says, "Good morning, all."
Right, Felix. Yeah, we've done a lot. Consultations. For some reason, we have to do it because the patient has no money.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I gave an injection the other day on a son of a lady who paid for it with 25 oatmeal cookies.
Oh, and I had one, and they were okay.
I was a little upset about that because she brought them for me,
and everybody.
I had two, and then I went and did my stuff. I came back, there was one left.
Yeah, everybody was coming in for them.
For my, that was my money. That was my pay. She paid me with like cookies.
Yeah,
and everybody else ate them.
Oh, nice, beautiful, plump raisins in them too. It was good.
She's gonna have to bring more.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to come for a follow-up.
Oh,
but a follow-up doesn't cost as much as the injection. So it'll probably be half the cookies.
Yeah,
but I'm hiding them.
You got to.
Yeah, I've been paid with bottles of homemade wine, with lasagna, meatballs, all kinds of stuff. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to go for house calls with my grandfather, who was a general surgeon. But in those days, general surgeons were everything doctors,
right?
Doing house calls, and he'd go in, and my father too. They go in, and they come out with a loaf of bread, that was made by that family, or some kind of home cooked meal, home cooked something. And that was how they paid for. That was before they even had Medicare. My father always tells me about that. They didn't have Medicare when he first started. Medicare came out later, like in the late 50s, early 60s, something like that. And people complain today about it. Well, this is my father talking. People complain today about Medicare doesn't pay anything. They're not this. At one point, we got paid nothing. Or that's what my father used to say. Not we, me. By the time I started, Medicare was out there. But the older population, they didn't pay. They had to pay out of pocket. There was no such a thing as.
I got to get him to talk to me about that stuff, like because I just think that's great. Like you get paid in meatballs for a house visit and stuff. And
he wasn't up today yet, because he was up early because he went somewhere yesterday, so he slept late today. Otherwise, he's with me now. He's living with me, so we can have him on the show next time.
Yeah, I'd love it. Your dad and I have become buddies, and I love talking to him.
And he's been on the show before.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I announced it, but I'm the Northeast champion for SEC. I think I did announce that last time.
Yeah.
If you go on my Facebook page, you can see some pictures of it.
Yeah, our doc here has a need for speed. Yeah.
And last week I went to the Nationals, which was down in Virginia, but something happened to my car. I was supposed to have 11 sessions on the track before the actual race.
Oh.
And I was competing against top drivers that actually won the national championships there before. Wow. And I'm competing against them. And when I arrived, to my surprise, they had actual ratings on the chance. There's another word for it, the ratings, or the or who they predict who's going to come in first, second, third, fourth, and fifth place.
Right. Okay.
What do they call that? The ratings, not well, they got a name for
projections or something.
Well, no, it's a name for it, but I was rated to come in second place at that race, which means a toss-up. I could have been first.
Dude,
third.
That's awesome, Doc.
Yeah, but what happened was, all the top guys and some of the guys that never, even the bottom guys were there a week before, and you pay extra money to practice, and you get in 11 practice sessions.
Huh.
Well, out of 11 practice sessions, 3 of them to qualify.
Right.
Well, the first practice session, my car broke, and they tried to fix this car from Saturday to Saturday, and they couldn't fix it. They finally fixed it Saturday morning, and the race was Sunday. So I had no practice. So the chance of me winning that race was like the only way I could have won a race if I would have gone it, because I had to start last place because I didn't qualify.
Right.
So the only way I win that race is if everybody crashed in front of me. But you know what I did?
You never told me the result of that race,
well,
like how you did.
what happened was it was raining out, because that's when the storm came.
Okay.
Ian was coming up there. But that particular time when it was ready to race, it was a mist rain.
Oh.
It wasn't raindrops. It was a mist, right? When you have a mist and you got 14 cars on a track with just a mist, 14 times 4 tires on the track, it dries the track up because the tires get hot going over the same spot. So that it dries up.
Yeah.
And everybody had rain tires on. If I put rain tires on, I'm better in the rain than most people. I see that, and everybody says that. But still, I'm not going to compete being last with the guys that maybe, let's say if I'm half a second faster than them, I'm not going to catch them. You got to be super fast. That ain't going to happen because I got no practice on the track. So I saw it was misty, but it was predicted to start raining. But you never know what happens. So what I did was everybody put rain tires on it, and I put slicks on mine. And when we were at the grid, we're ready to go out. A bunch of these old timers, race car drivers said, you know what? We've been following you, and we know what the history is here. You didn't practice at all. The chances you were winning with rain tires on it is going to be virtually none, no chance. But if you put these slicks on, so if it doesn't rain or it stops raining, you're going to win this race.
Right.
Because when it dries up and you got slicks and everybody's got rain tires, you're going to drive circles around them.
Right.
So we get out there on the track, and all of a sudden it stops raining. And 2 or 3 laps went by, and it was very little or no rain. The track dried up, and I started passing people. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. I didn't even see the race. You can see it on YouTube.
Right. Okay.
So I didn't even see the race on video, but they were talking about it. Right. And then all of a sudden I was passing people. All of a sudden it started to rain again. But it was close. It could have been, but it didn't. Guess what I did?
What?
Gave me last place.
Did you really?
Yeah, because in the rain you can't compete with it.
No.
It's like going on Barnegat Bay with ice and with a car.
Right.
You're driving, you're skidding all over, sliding all over the place.
Yeah.
In the rain with slicks, you're not going anywhere but off the track a couple of times, and I did. But I actually had fun. It was what we called car control clinic.
Right.
You practice how to slide all over the place.
Yeah. No. You have to deal with like weather conditions and all of that. So, does the type of rain that's happening affect differently what you're dealing with as well? So this was a mist, but then if it's slashing down, does that affect it different, or you know what I mean? Like all the different types of rain you can get. Do you have to adjust your driving stance differently?
Yeah, I mean you have to change the settings on the car.
Oh, okay, all right.
Otherwise, you have to loosen up the back of the car so that the tires will grip better.
Oh,
The stiffer it is, the less grip you get. The looser the suspension, the more grip. So that you have to do.
yeah.
And you got to put rain tires on. There's only one set of rain tires. Everybody uses the same thing. But when it's raining out, and then also, we're open wheel. We're not behind. We're not inside a car with windshield wipers.
Right.
Which, by the way, that's tough too because you get fogged windows and everything. But we're open wheel with helmets on, and the helmets get fogged, and you're going 120, 150 miles an hour with helmets on down the straightaway where it's a turns, and if it's really rain, you can't see anything.
Right.
So you have to what they call have muscle memory of the track. So you see little pieces of the track, and you know what the turn is.
It's like triggering your brain. Yeah. Okay, I got boom, boom, boom.
If you're doing 11 sessions for 20 minutes a session, you memorize that track because muscle memory. Guess what? I didn't do that.
Right. Yeah.
But it wasn't raining that hard.
Right.
But sometimes it rains. Like I raced in Pittsburgh, which I'm going to do next weekend. I raced in Pittsburgh, and you couldn't see 3 feet in front of you.
Wow.
And I was passing cars up left and right, but you got to be very careful. And I won that race. but you can't see anything. So you got to have. I know the track. That's the key thing. You got to know the track, and you have to have special. I pay like $150 for a special visor that is doesn't fog up, because when you can't see,
Yeah, I was going to say about that. Do you have to treat them with something or wax or something like
they're
that?
like the Rain X where it beads off. You can treat the outside.
Yeah, yeah.
For the people who want to spend $20 for a visor instead of paying $150.
Right. I got you.
When it comes down to winning a race, you want to pay the extra money.
Sure.
But that's it about racing. And what time is it? We're running out of time.
Yeah, we got about 50 minutes in. We got 10 minutes to go, I guess.
Good. So, so like I said, we're located in Bricktown at 74 Brick Boulevard.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful facility. It's 16,000 square feet. We have a surgery center. So probably 99% of our procedures are done there. We also have a little procedure room in the office part. And certain procedures we have to do there because the insurance companies won't pay for the surgery center, and vice versa. Only done in the surgery center, won't pay for the office. Most of the joints that we do are in the office. We have great x-ray techs, nurses, technicians, front desk people, everybody. All week they've been saying you have a wonderful staff. Yeah. And they're very hard workers. Very rarely they complain about working. I say very rarely. Some people do, some people don't.
Yeah, some people.
But the majority of them enjoy the job. Why? Because they see how good people are doing.
Yeah.
Now, to call us, it's 732-262-0700. And by the way, I wanted to mention before that if you're with another doctor or for some reason your primary doctor sent you for an MRI because you started to have back pain and sciatica pain, you can send in that MRI. Myself or one of my knowledgeable staff members will review the MRI. And after we review, and I've talked about this, we review the MRI and we see and put a little note in the envelope, or if you want to email us, put a little note on where your pain is, because we need to correlate the pain with the MRI,
right?
Because you can't just treat an MRI, and we will contact you if we feel that we can help you.
Yeah.
If we can't help you, we'll even contact you and tell you we can't help you.
Yeah.
But that's very, very rare. I mean, somebody has a bad back, sciatica with an MRI, we're going to help them. So it's almost like just make an appointment to come in with the MRI.
Yeah.
But we will look at that. We won't charge you for that, but we'll tell you probably to come in anyway.
Let me see here. We got. I was going to bring this up too. So this is officially a family business now, right? I mean, you got your office manager, who's your beautiful daughter, Gabriele. You got your business manager, right, who is your brilliant son, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, Philip, again. And you got yourself. I mean, this is a great place, and the team we have, they're just a wonderful bunch of people. They'll put you at ease. They'll make you feel great being there. Doc, back when I first found Jasper Spine Institute, I realized what a special place it was, and I was so happy I got to stay there. I've been with you for about 9 years now. You know that?
9 years?
9 years.
We're gonna have to have a big party.
I know.
What is all this on the side here?
These are your texts and stuff. Yeah,
here? Texting here.
Yeah. These are the people in the chat groups.
A lot of people wishing Philip a happy birthday.
Yeah. We got Gabriele. I put it up on the screen here. See?
Yeah.
And from our man Felix.
Getting paid lasagna and prosciutto.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm for the people bringing food into the practice, because I get to partake too. So any meatballs out there? Come on, wait, who's this? Oh yeah. I see. Kat remembers when the first time I came around. Yeah.
Yesterday I did an injection on a patient who works on boats, and he invited me to his meatball. What do they call a meatball contest party?
Oh yeah.
And it's next Saturday, and I'll be racing in Pittsburgh. But that would have been a nice thing to do.
That would have been fun.
I would have made 2-3 varieties of meatballs and won that competition.
Yeah. We've done that with our friends. We've done like a chili cook-off, and we've done like empanadas. who can make the best empanadas. You know, they're fun nights.
Yeah, meatballs. I'm a meatball connoisseur.
Yeah, you are. And we just we just did the tomatoes for the season, so you got the sauce to.
Yeah, we got a few 300 jars, something like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was great fun. I was glad I came to that this year because you know, it's great people just having a chat, having a laugh. You know, your dad's a workaholic on tomato day. You know, he's up there, he's feeding everything into the grinder and stuff. And I was really blown away. He took a long shift doing that. Yeah.
And then we have what they call a spaghettata at the end, which means that we just, we take some of the tomatoes and make it olive oil, garlic, fresh basil from the garden, and we make a big pot of sauce, and everybody's there, 25 people, wherever they're there, and we have those big pots for the tomatoes. We put water in it, and make a few pounds of pasta and cook it up, and we eat it there, and we have a little wine.
Yeah,
so it's really good. And we do it at the pole barn, the pole barn on Church Road.
Your dad told me a story about when he was young, he loved pasta. Right, he loved pasta. He says, I wanted pasta every day, but his father said to him, he says, no, it was only some certain type of people that ate pasta every single day, and that's not us. He said, we eat pasta.
Yeah, when he comes, we gotta have him tell.
Yeah, we gotta have him tell that story. It's a really good one. And then finally he met your mom, and he went to her house, and I guess her family, they love pasta, and he went to his dad afterwards. He says,
right, they went there, and they'd have pasta
every day. Yeah.
His father only had pasta on Wednesdays, right? He said those were pasta or macaroni pasta something.
He had a name for them. Yeah. Your great grandfather that was.
He's probably watching this, figuring out how to call in, tell us the name, because he watches these shows.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good for today.
Yeah.
Let's hope you come and I can fix you up.
Yeah, we'll see you this week. Snowbirds, remember, plan ahead. Dr. Gabriele Jasper's here for you. He can get you fixed up and ready to go to enjoy your winter. Okay. So to make an appointment with Dr. Gabriele Jasper, please call 732-262-0700. If you want to find out more information about the man, the myth, the legend himself, please go to jaspermd.com. And in the meantime, Doc.
Well, thank you very much, and I'll see you. No, I won't see you next week. I'll see you the week after that.